How about the future of Northern Davis? Northern Davis in the 90s and 80s used to be amongst the most conservative area in the entire country. Okay, there was no place that wasn't as conservative as Northern Davis. It was one of the most reliably conservative areas. However, Northern Davis may have a is the most murky part of Davis. This is the biggest decline of traditional Davisian conservatism we have ever seen. It seems that the bastion of conservatism has moved southward toward the Davisian Bible Belt now, which isn't too surprising as well here. The reason why this seems to be amongst the most conservative states, as these states were mostly rural, Christian, and Davisian. The third one is the most important one as well. Yeah, we'll be explaining all of these states as much depth as possible. First one is Qatar's Islands, is the easiest one to explain. Qatar's Islands is the most unique Davisian state demographically. Okay, it is the most unique state demographically in all of Davis as well. The state, for a small bit in the 80s, 70s, and 90s, and 2000s, and even the early 2010s, had a Davisian ethnic majority, surpassing the native Caucasians in population as well. This state has a very strange ethnic makeup as well, with Davisians, Caucasians, and Europeans as well. However, there are now other natives and Hispanics now living in these islands in the Arctic Ocean. These states are still amongst the most liberal as well, as they are very isolated and very dependent on imports as well here. And the Democrats kind of also are kind of better on international issues, so this is a very international state as well. Now we'll be getting into the other states as well. So Qatar is very easy. It was easy to explain because it's a very unpopulated state. It also doesn't have voter registration. It's very unreligious as well, and it's very demographically, different than the rest of the country. But however, we'll be covering these three states kind of just fold together. These actually used to be more liberal states as well. These are the three northern Catholic states: Wisteria, Acre, and Rodrea as well. These states massively trended towards the right as well. The urban areas actually trended towards the left a little bit. However, the massive shift towards the right amongst the urban counties is not to be understated as well. These three states went from this area, okay, which is a culturally unique area, this rural portion right here, used it, excluding the metropolitan areas. This entire area used to be it's basically its own cultural identity. Okay, this entire area is trending rightward, with the exception of one metropolitan area, Upper Cliff. Okay, this area is already super hardcore right. This entire area of South Tyrantia is trending rightward. This entire area, with the exception of this county here, is trending rightward, and as well here, but it's mostly this area here. This entire area is extremely Christian, extremely conservative, extremely Davisian, kind of reminiscent. It's kind of like the last vestiges of the old culture that used to permeate this entire area as well. Okay, this entire area, yeah, this original culture still permeates across here. Okay, it still permeates here. This is a mostly ethnic Davisian area here, and some people even extend it to around here and even up here as well. However, a lot of people will say that this area is more of an extension of up down here as well, instead of actually here. Okay, but this entire area shifted nationalist plus 21. It is now one of the most reliably conservative areas in the entire country. This is why you saw these massive rightward shifts in many rural areas as well. Here, these counties are still mostly Christian to a T, still mostly Davidian as well. That's why these three states and this state and even, you know, the state up here voted this way as well here. These three of the five states actually have three of the four states actually have voter registrations, and the nationalists thus took over. It was one of the fastest party switches in history as well here. And the state, and yeah, these counties have almost no population, but they are very reminiscent of old Davis, as how it used to be in the northern part of the country. Yeah. And the state and most of these counties are very safe, conservative, and are unlikely to flip any time in the future as well. Yeah. These states are still mostly Christian as well. Yeah. And there are one other state we have to talk about, and that's Suteria as well. Another very Christian state as well here. The state has become less Davisian and less like the old Northern Davisian as well. Yeah, Corey won the state very easily as well, and he basically swept these states. He swept these states by a convincing margin as well. Suteria is more Protestant, but the state was won by 11 as well, which is a seat as a feat of its own. But then we have the troublesome part of Northern Davis. First is the two most northernmost states in the country, two of the most northernmost states in the country as well, besides South Atlantia, North Atlantia, and the Cathass Islands, and that is Grits and Ashley. Yeah, this is basically Outer Davis and Davis Capital on steroids as well. Unless something is done, well, the Nationalist Party rules over, several religious minorities in the country as well. These two states are never going back to how they used to vote. These two states used to be some of the most conservative states in the entire country, especially Ashley, which used to vote conservative, and even Grits all the way up into the 2010s, and Ashley into the 2000s. No, all the way up into the 2010s for both 2010 for Grits. And actually, I think as late as 2014, the state voted for conservatives as well. But very recently, the states have taken a leftward shift as well. And that is because the older Davisian population is disappearing as well. And being basically, these have some of the highest foreign-born populations as well. Grits is around 33%, and Ashley is around 19%. Okay, Grits is around 23%, and Ashley is around 15%. And so there's also other non-Davisian native groups which also trending against the party as well, the Nationalist Party, because they do not like the idea of ethnic superiority to the actual, towards the, Davisian ethnicity. So these two states are going to be unattainable in the future and are going to continue trending leftward off a cliff. Okay. And then we have Okeanik as well. Okay. This state is basically an extension of these two states here. Around 6%, around 5% of the state's population is foreign born, so there isn't really much in the state as well here. This state has mostly received more recent migration as well. Yeah, the state is still very Christian, what you would think, because it's 47%, of the people that go to church, but it's mostly the older Davisians as well. Younger Davisians in the state, unlike, Central Davis, are now massively voting in the left as well. You can definitely see this by the county map as well. This entire northern part of the state used to be conservative, as well as why conservatives used to win massively in the state. However, they are now kind of starting to lose here as well. And they barely won the state. And it's mostly going to flip in the next presidential election as well Yeah. Sutera, I think, is a long ways off, same thing of its other neighbors as well. But the state had a very high turnout, and even the voter registration Democrats are 4,000 voters away from actually flipping the state as well. The state is also getting far less religious as well, yeah, and also is getting more ethnically diverse as well, much like its northern neighbors. Now we could talk about two states that have very similar demographics. Religion is Boyar Timur and Borat as well. Boyar Timur and Borat are huge foreign-born states as well. Borat actually has a high Tyrantian population, which is listed as non-Davisan natives, which mostly live in the Tyrantian Panhandle as well here. However, there are still many people from the country of Taurus, the country of Lucia, and the country of Sonic, and also several, and of course, places like India, China, and South America as well. Why would they want to live in this area specifically? I have no idea. Why wouldn't they just go for down here as well? But Borat Timur and Borat are two states that conservatives have been concerned about for the past 5 years. Borat Timur, despite both states only make up around 280k people, used to be some of the most reliably conservative states in the country, but both states have slowly but surely been trending towards liberals. And you can see this here. Okay, Ashley voted for conservatives as well. Akiak didn't vote for conservatives since Terry did, but these two states were amongst the most reliable states, even in the worst years. Northern Davis, besides Ukiak, Grits, Ashley, and these far North Davisian states were some of the most conservative states in the country as well. And especially Borat and Borat Timur, until 1998, Borat Timur actually flipped as well. 2002, this was the era, this was like the last time where Ashley, Grits was voting for liberals until like 2006 as well here in 2010. But you can see that certain counties have becoming more and more liberal. The last time they've won both of these counties was in 2010, 2014, 2018 as well here, and 2022. These counties, these urban counties, these states are getting far more urban as well as more people are moving to these counties. As a result of urbanization and many ethnic minorities moving to these states and massive decline in Christianity in both states, you're starting to see the states become blue. Okay, the states were within 5. Okay, within 5 last election. Okay, when these used to be plus 10, plus 12, plus 15 as well. And very, very close, and voter registration now, with these states used to have a massive advantage as well. They don't really have much voter turnout, and they don't really have much population. Then the last area is the Tyrantian Peninsula. No, not Tyrantian Panhandle as well. Okay. The Tyrantian Panhandle is trending left. Okay, these states are basically 50% Davisian, 40% Tyrantian for both, and 10% other. In South Tyrantian's case, it's 44% Tyrantian, and with North Tyrantian's case, it's around 38% Tyrantian and 50% Davisian. These states are not gonna be conservative states as well. These states are trending blue as well here. And these states have an insane racial problem as well. Like these states are very racially polarized. Like the Tyrantians vote D plus 7, D plus 12, which is still much higher than recent immigrants, which are usually around D plus 80 or something like that. But Davisians do not really vote that much nationalists. North Tyrantia, they do vote nationalists plus 15, plus 13. As well, which is keeping these states relatively close, but if they voted like nationalists plus 21 and 22, like in these states as well, and the Davisian vote is trending long-term right in these states, but will not be enough to not flip these states blue There is a very high likelihood that these states will become blue, whereas these two states used to be some of the most reliably conservative states in the entire country as well. But once the Katas Islands, the davisan percentage started to decline, and basically this is how the percentage went. They went like this, and then they peaked in the 70s, and then it went back to how it used. There's going back to how it used to be, where Tyrantes used to make the up to ethnic majority in these states as well. Which might cause many more issues down the pipeline of Davis as well. So that is it for our mini series as well. Which states are truly trending right and left? So yellow means the states are not really shifting. And I actually we can add more yellow states, honestly. Like these are states that are not really shifting as well. But if we really wanted to put a trend, Maple Tree is trending rightward. Monique is trending rightward because of how the roles are shifting. This state's trending leftward, and these two states are going to become more rightward states as well. And this is all the states that are trending a certain way. It would be pretty weird to see how these states trend in the future as well, or see how the states. And this map will likely be changed once the 2026 election is done and over with as well. But this is a pretty bad sign for the nationalist parties as well. These states are trending leftwards because of urban areas, and most of these states are just urban shifts as well. That are making the states shift leftward over time as well. And these states up here is mostly because of demographics, is the main reason why these states are shifting rightward as well. Leftward. And while the rightward shifts here, religion in these southern states as well. The elderly population is shifting the states rightward. And actually, technically this state shifting rightward too, as well at the state. But however, the state's long-term trends is trending leftward as well. This is because of rural counties shifting leftward as well This is because of, religion and many issues regarding immigration as well These states is largely because of religion. These states are because of immigration as well These states are mostly because of the youth vote trending rightward, and this state too as well. Same thing with this state, the youth vote is trending rightward in these states, and these states is because of religion as well. And this state is mostly because the youth vote is trending against the Democrats as well, as the youth vote is actually the least Democrat of every generation in the Katas Islands, and the, youth vote is the other reason why these states are all trending green as well. But we're ready to see how the 2026 election goes for long-term election trends in Davis. Goodbye, and hope you enjoyed this mini-series. This is the last episode for now.